Introducing Instagram Teen Accounts, a new way to keep your teen safer as they grow, like making sure they always have their seatbelt on.
All right, buckle up. Good job.
New Instagram Teen Accounts, automatic protections for who can contact your teen and the content they can see.
The first ever Kia K4 seamlessly combines bold style and advanced tech. With striking star map LED headlights and an available panoramic display, the Kia K4 delivers design and function. The available surround view and blind spot view monitors can help provide added confidence. Plus, Sirius XM comes standard, bringing you closer to what you love. The Kia K4 balances aesthetics and innovation. Learn more at kia.com/K4. Surround view and blind spot view monitors may not detect all objects around or behind the vehicle.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, you ask me. I'll tell you anything. Your hair's straight.
My hair is straight. It was going to be my bottom of the cob how much I have come to hate blow drying my hair. You just think about, as a woman, the hours and hours and days of your life spent blow drying your hair into something like somewhat acceptable. I'm so over it.
Yeah.
So the trick is I mostly let it air dry and then I just blow on the phone and then I sleep on it. But I really hate that, like, a big part of my day is like making sure my hair looks mediocre enough that I can put it in a bun. I just hate it.
Yeah, it is. Blow dried hair feels so nice, but it's too much work. I never do it.
It's so much work. It takes a lifetime to master not having like weird squiggly hair in the back.
Yeah, it really is just the ones you can see from the front. I'm like, okay, I dried these pieces. I don't know what's happening back there. I just won't turn around.
And it's such a like gotcha thing. Like a woman looks put together and then the back, it's like you took your hand and just went like, scrambled eggs. Like it's not even like, oh, did you have sex? It's like, oh, you just didn't have a big round brush to get to the back of your head.
Your brush wasn't big enough, loser.
It's like every time I think I've like gotten a grip on like, I'm elegant, I'm chic. Then I see a picture of myself and I'm like, can you wear something besides sneakers, you piece of shit?
I mean, you've been posting some pictures lately that look pretty cool. The one where you are like posed with Tianfu and you look like maybe you've murdered your husband.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We did a photo session. We took some. I'm experimenting with maybe wearing a little bit of brown every once in a while.
Ooh.
Really coming out of my shell. Yeah. I went to Rag & Bone today. I bought a blazer, something that I had written off. It's like a checkered.
Ooh.
It looks like I ride horses.
Excuse me.
I was like, I'm going to New York. I'm going to Boston this week. I need to have this by then. And loafers. I'm trying to lean into like a preppy capsule wardrobe.
How was your big weekend you brought your mom on this last leg, right?
I did. And we had a great time. I think it's a lot. I think being on tour with anyone is a lot.
Yeah.
She got to Charleston. She's like, I'm going to go see Fort Sumter. And I was like, I wish I could be the girl that was like, I'm going too. But I was like, I'm at work and I'm going to just lay in this bed.
Yeah.
And do work. But she went and I was happy that she went.
That's great.
Yeah, we did Charleston. We did Charleston, Charlotte, and Durham, and they were all awesome. And she got a little bit of insight into the way we work. I think it's a lot of late night dinners, and we should cut back because it's really bad for your digestion. And it turns out sharing a room with your mom is not as easy as you remember it from any vacation you maybe took.
Don't remember it ever being easy.
Well, it ain't. And you start to, it's like, this is a woman that gave you life, and you're like, you're snoring.
You're
snoring.
I have slept in several hotel bathtubs as a child just to get away from the snoring.
I remember that. I took one trip with my parents to Sonoma when I was in my 20s, and my stepdad's snore was so bad I went in the bathroom. It's tough, and you're like, we just so become ourselves as adults. You're like, how did I ever live with them?
Right.
The answer is you didn't know. You didn't know any different. And I met a lot of podcast fans on the road, and I elucidated them to the fact that we have a Patreon, which I think we're up to
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. I was very active on it this weekend. And then I was like, am I a loser? Is this too many responses?
No.
So I took Sunday off.
I was mad at you that you posted a photo in the Patreon and on your Instagram. It needs to be an exclusive.
What was it?
10 food and a little tie.
Well, I did Patreon first. Okay. I didn't know the
Now you're allowed.
rule.
What I've been doing with our clips is I'll post it on Patreon like an hour before I post on Instagram to give some sort of incentive. But
For sure. I'll get better at it too. Because I'm
You're
just sitting
figuring it
there
out.
using it for like my Instagram fix. I'm like, it's okay if it's just Patreon, right?
right.
And then I like dipped my toe in looking at other creators' pages. I was like, I don't care. Back to the warm embrace of my followers.
It's nice because I think we wanted something where it's like cool and we can be in there, but also like where people can talk to each other. And if you're not in there commenting, it's not dead. Everybody's still talking to each other, which I love.
I did have a humbling moment where I posted Tian Fu and she looked all chunky in a bow tie and I only got like 3 responses. And then people just kept posting their pets. And I was like, oh, that's right. I've created a monster
Yeah.
for them. It's theirs. It's their space. It's not about my show.
We created a separate pet board because everyone was putting their pets in the general chat. And I was like, you know what? Let's carve off a space for this.
I went through and commented on a bunch of them.
Oh, good. Okay.
It's one of my favorite things. Speaking of Patreon and speaking of fans,
Yeah,
we got questions to get to.
we do. Well, first let's fight. Get it out of the way.
Let's
Get our
but
fighting.
First, let's fight.
I think that subwoofers or just like any sort of intense bass entertainment system should be illegal in a non-commercial or like residential neighborhood setting. The way that the bass vibrates and can like penetrate anything, no matter how sealed up or far away you are, is so disruptive and makes me feel like I'm going to lose my mind. I have had plenty of neighbors come and go from this house next door to me, and many of them have had some sort of subwoofer situation going on. And they'll play it all hours of the night, and I'll just feel this like pulse of the bass in my pillow, in my wall, and I'm in a completely detached standalone house, and I'm getting this off of a completely standalone separate house from me. And I just don't understand the value for the listener. Like, why do you need that much bass in your own home? There's no way your like Eminem song is that much better with the bass turned up to 100. And it's so disruptive for other people. It's way worse than just like regular loud music because it's so like invasive. And you can't even really call bylaw because they have a decibel limit, but the bass is technically quieter than the decibel limit. And bite me.
It's funny because it's about music and we're all nodding our heads like, yes, it's the worst. I am one of those people who feels bass in an invasive way, like more than others. Vibrations will wake me up. We've talked about, I have a neighbor who has an illegally installed AC unit and it vibrates.
Yes.
And it finds me deep in a sleep. It comes through the walls and it gets me. Same thing I've talked about at hotels when people are just like drag racing outside. It is the vibration that permeates everything. I cannot fight you. I just want to hold you and vibrate. It is, and you're right. There's no way. The answer is they're on drugs or they're drunk, because there's no way a normal human is like, oh, this feels great in my liver. Like it's designed to be obtrusive and it's designed to be invasive. And I agree with you. It's especially when there's always a fat guy on a giant motorcycle with fat wheels blasting like Tech 9 or just some like shitty rap through like a abandoned downtown area. And it's always the same type of guy. And you're just like, what are you getting from this?
Yeah.
Like no one is attracted to this. There's no way this feels that great on your testicles.
I wonder about the
Butthole.
people who are playing it in their car. And when the car next to you is shaking and it's shaking your car, and it's like, how are you not dead in there? What's going on in your car?
Because they're fucking stoned and they're delinquents and they're like 23.
Right.
When you're younger, you have a higher tolerance for absolute trash. And you're like, this is so cool. Not realizing that nobody thinks you're cool, but you don't realize it because you think you're cool. Like, you don't look hard. No one's like impressed that you're listening to like an Offset song. Like, we all know what rap is.
Yeah. And now I was at that women's marketing gala and my watch was like, it's over 90 decibels in here. Get to a safer place.
I mean, honestly, I go to restaurants. This isn't like I'm old, the music's too loud. It's just like there are places, especially in LA, where it's like, isn't this fun? And you're like, I have a tension headache now from just having a conversation. And I already feel tense when I talk.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want to yell over it.
No.
No fight here.
No fight.
Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling. And nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only. Exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, you know, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
All right. We also have an update from our live show. And I think we can say right now that soon we will have details about more live shows in LA. So stay tuned and clear the calendars and pay attention to Patreon.
Why can't we just tell them what we're going to do?
I guess we can. Because I like to direct people when there is a link to direct them to. We don't have a link yet, but we're going to do shows in LA.
We're going to be doing live recorded episodes of Ask Iliza Anything. So when you listen to it in your car in Columbia, South Carolina next week, obviously that will have been recorded, but we will be inviting people. We did one to taped episodes. Emily will be jombied in, so she will not be there. We think.
We're going to try it out. We're going to try it out.
Please work.
October 30th. Hold that date for now. And we'll put something in the Patreon and on social media.
But the part we're going to tell you is that we will soon be dropping all of the live recording dates that we're going to do. And you can just get the tickets for the one that you want. And there will be pizza. And there will be Spindrift, courtesy of...
I like that this is courtesy of Spindrift.
And me. I bought the pizza.
And you. Yeah. Sorry for everybody who's not in LA. This is it for now. But, I feel like if the demand is like crazy, but.
Why the fuck in? I would love to tour with this.
I like that you're pushing it as like, there's going to be free pizza as though it being the show isn't enough.
You're absolutely right. I'm just saying like we put effort.
Please come see the show. We do.
No, it's not about that. It's like about, we're not just like putting you in like a cold conference room. We're like, watch me and my best friend just like talk about life, love, and everything. Like we're trying to have a curated experience. We have big plans for the show. And it starts here, baby.
Starts here. All right. Well, we have an update from our last live show.
Okay. Red hot update.
Someone who was there who says, the live show was so fun. It was such a trip to see and talk to you both in person. It was nice that you let Hot Scotty out of his storage closet for the show. I had the question about asking my friend to move out after living with my husband and I for almost a year.
I remember you.
I do too, yeah. I didn't get into all the nitty-gritty details because they didn't matter in the long run. I just needed to hear a neutral third party tell me I wasn't being a jerk for just wanting to live with my husband and our sweet dog. So the update—
We're not neutral. You came to our event. We're very much on your hand.
I know. She and I went on a walk, and from the highest light, I said, this isn't working anymore. And she agreed and told me she had been making plans to move but didn't want to lose our friendship. I told her I felt the same, and this living situation isn't worth losing our 7-year relationship over. She's planning on actually moving out in November, but has been at her boyfriend's place for over a month. So our house has already started to feel more peaceful and relaxed. I can't thank you enough for answering my question. You both helped me feel a lot less guilty. Y'all are the best big sisters. Dog photos attached. She's a rescue pitty, not named Bella. And then the name is Alana. And they gave me a pronunciation.
You named the dog Alana?
No, our listener is named Alana.
Like, why bother? That's like a real human name. That's right. You felt guilty because only women are in charge of the way other people feel.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And you know what's annoying is that like she was, without you saying anything, like, yeah, this is not great. And like didn't even clue you in. And you're over here tormented.
Worried. Yes.
Worried.
Yes. Just have a conversation with people. I'm never going to do that, but you should.
The gesture you just made, Emily, you like jiggled your hand like, I'm worried for you. It was the most ethnic thing you've ever done.
That's fair.
I'm worried.
Right. No.
I'm sorry.
All right. We have a question from an anonymous person on Patreon. And this is interesting to me as someone who doesn't have a baby. I'm wondering your take, Iliza. Hi, AI crew. So I have this problem with my in-laws. They are wonderful people and have gone to great lengths to take care of my husband and I. I had my first baby last year, and he's the first grandchild on both sides of the family. I'm pretty good at letting my son be passed around to family members as long as he's happy. But something about when my in-laws want to hold my son, I want to yank my son back and say no. I don't understand what's wrong with me. They love him to pieces and treat him so well. But at family gatherings with my in-laws, I get weirdly possessive of my son. I notice the possessiveness gets worse when my mother-in-law says things like, I've got him, you can go relax. Why do I respond negatively towards this? It's a nice thing she's doing. I lived with my in-laws for a while. They're good people, so I don't get why I feel this need to hold on to my son when they're around. I'm not like this with anyone else but them. It just doesn't make sense. Any advice on how to get over this possessiveness? I want my son to have a good relationship with my in-laws like he does with my parents. Do you think that's just totally like innate?
I wonder if the way, I mean, I'm not going to discount the way that you feel. I mean, this also feels like maternal psychiatrist territory, but somebody saying, if I had to come up with a reason, and the only one you've provided is her saying, I got this, you go lay down. I think even though that is so kind, part of that language, if I had to assess something from the little you've given, is like, like you can check out and you're like, actually, I can't. I'm his mother. I'm not going to go lay down. Like, I can't just stop. So is it possessiveness like they want him and they're like, you don't need to be here? Or is it possessiveness like you don't want them to hold him and also you would be in the room?
It sounds like both based on this situation. It sounds like either way, like she's there, they're holding him, and they're the only people that make her kind of like, ugh, I got to be here. I got to be involved.
Yeah, I got to be involved because have they done so much for you and you want to prove that you can be just as good a parent to your child as they were and are to you and your husband? Is there a part of you that like wants to make sure that they know that you're a good mom and pulling your weight?
Yeah.
Like, are they really kind people and you're feeling a little guilty? Like maybe I don't want to be seen as not as good as you. So I'm here also engaging with my child. That's what I would say it is.
I wonder, because I'm trying to think, like, what's the difference between the in-laws and everyone else? In my mind, it's like, if you have a good relationship with them, the only thing is you want to impress them more than anyone else.
Because those are the only other people that you've seen being parents.
Oh.
That have like a direct connection to you. They've parented you. They've parented your husband, obviously, and you want to be seen as a good mother.
Or they're full-on serial killers and your gut knows.
Your gut knows. Let us know about that body count in the attic. I think we nailed it. When you started, I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, wait, I know totally what this is. You feel inadequate.
It's nice to hear about good in-laws.
I've got great in-laws.
Yeah, but you're not writing into the podcast.
No, but I think more importantly, they would say they have a great daughter-in-law.
I like that that's the most important.
The experience has been excellent, has been mutually excellent.
Eliza's in-laws right into the pod and say if you like her.
What do you guys think? Albie, Melanie, Nancy, Jimmy?
Both of you have so many in-laws. It's so much to deal with.
16 parents.
You do. Like, that's a lot.
2, 4.
You have 8.
6, 8. We have 8, yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot to take on.
And Sierra, I know she knows all their names. We had them all visit this summer. It's a lot, but it's also a little. We don't see all of them.
Right. They take turns.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Ask Liza Anything crew. I'm reaching out as a female, 36, as I'm currently trying to decide if I should go ahead and start the process of having a kid on my own. For context, I'm single and a very independent person who hasn't really dated a lot in my life. I've hit a point in my career where I'm settled, financially secure, happy. All my friends have kids and are married. I love being an auntie to their kids and have been thinking a lot the past few years about having one of my own. I thought about freezing eggs, but then thought at this age, I'd rather just move my timeline up and have a kid sooner. The idea of doing it on my own is terrifying, but I don't want to wait. As I'm sure you've heard before, the doctors say 35 plus is when the timeline to have a kid gets smaller and smaller. I kept waiting, being like, try dating again. You might find a guy and then you won't have to do it on your own. But the older I get, the more I feel like waiting for something that might not happen is just delaying having kids longer and longer. I'm afraid I'll wake up and regret it in a couple of years, wishing I would have just done it instead of waiting for this guy to come into my life. Right. I'd love any opinions you have on this and also any advice you'd have for a first-time single mom if I do decide to go through with it. Kai.
Well, I'm not a single mom. My mom was a single mom. I'm just saying, like, I can't totally speak from experience, but I've watched friends go through it. And my mother was a single mom. It is the hardest job in the world, but you don't know till you go. Just like being a mom is the hardest job in the world. Like, it doesn't really matter what I say to you, even if I were a single mom.
Yeah.
No matter what I tell you, part of anyone is always going to be like, yeah, but I'll do it. I've seen women just break down emotionally, not know who they are, because caring for a screaming baby who's feeding multiple times in within an hour, whatever it is. I'm like trying to make it up, even though I've had help. It can be exhausting. Yeah. Even just regular crying. It's a lot, and it's meant to break you, and you will lose a bit of who you are. But obviously the pros outweigh the cons, and being a mom is so much fun, especially if you can afford it. You know, it's not up to anyone to say to you, do or don't have a kid, regardless of your financial situation. But if you can afford help, someone to also be there, you will be the reinforcer. You will be the father. You will be the mother. Like, you will be everything, but somebody to help lighten the load, maybe do the kids' laundry, like be a nanny, a live-in, a baby nurse, someone at least at the beginning, or someone that you have, whatever you can do. I would suggest doing that. But I actually don't think there's anything wrong with being like, you know what? I'm 36. I tried. It's not happening. And this is what I want. And I don't want to wait. And I can respect that. And it sounds like you've given it a lot of thought. So I also think the kind of guy that you will love, if you've already started this, might be okay with that. But this thing is women where it's like, I've got to wait for a man to ask me to start my life. If you have the means to do it and you seem pretty into it, go for it. If you were 25, I'd say don't do that. Just give it a beat.
Yeah.
And it's not that you don't have time. I had children very late and it was fine. Second one was actually very easy. So get on with your life in a good way.
That's a hard choice to make. I feel lucky in some ways that I know I don't want kids because I don't have to think about that timeline.
For sure.
That's really hard to be like, do I just, maybe something happens. But yeah, in 2 years, if you don't meet anyone, you're still like, well, I wish I'd had that kid. That's frustrating.
But by the way, you can begin the process. It may
Right.
not work. You could still keep dating. You might meet someone at the buzzer. I do find, I don't know, I feel like I've talked to women who kind of felt the way you did. And it's only when they start going down the road, you know, or getting into things like I had a friend who was like, I think I'm going to date an older guy. And I was like, I don't think you want that. He's a lot older than you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to talk yourself into being attracted to him. And then she like reconnected with an ex and then they got pregnant. Now they're together. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I do think fortune favors the bold and the universe favors people who are doing things to make themselves happy. I'm not saying you're going to meet someone, but even if the great news is if you don't, you will be on the path to having this baby.
Right.
And if you meet someone on the path to having this baby, then you can be like, here's what I want to do. And they'll be down.
Yeah.
Or you don't, and you meet someone and it's great, or you have the baby. Like all things, I say all systems go toward that. Good for you.
Yeah. Good work.
And just don't expect your friends to be around. Like they might make you some food, they might come over, but like it is you, it is lonely. Like parenting is difficult and nobody really wants to help. Maybe you have some relatives, maybe your mom or your dad, but like it is you. Like after the help is gone, it's going to be you. And it's exhausting, but it's awesome. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Okay, we got an email and the email subject line is, you want to do what with your boss? It's really trying to hook me.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I met a fan at a show and she was like, I know the way to write them to get Emily to read them. You guys have answered 5 of my questions. And I was like, come on, gluttonous. It's got to be a quota. So you're being played, Emily.
That's very funny. Good work, whoever that is. Okay. Yeah, I'm not an impenetrable wall. Well, maybe this is them.
Yeah, I feel like it is.
Hello, Iliza, Emily, and gang. I love the friend chemistry that you two have. Iliza, I found your comedy after a painful breakup and have been a diehard fan ever since. Your comedy's helped me through so much. Thank you. I don't think this situation has popped up before. I'm very curious what your hot takes are. I am a 37-year-old female with a confession and also seeking advice. It's not really a confession, but we'll see. I've been crushing on my boss since I met him about 6 or 7 years ago. I was already working at my job and he had signed on to take over my old boss's position. Since then, we have both left that first job, and when he got his new job, he recruited me to work with him once again. I happily accepted, not because I've been physically attracted to him all this time, but because he's a good person and has always been a wonderful boss. Here's my dilemma. Where we worked previously, it was a lot easier to handle my emotions because his office was farther away and I didn't see him very often. In our new place of employment, that's not the case. I literally see him frequently every day. Even though I am super busy throughout the day, there are times I find myself just looking for him just to see him or find excuses to talk to him. It doesn't help to see how good he is with our elderly patients. We work at a rehab facility. I know that telling him how I feel is not the answer because his job is important to me. I am paid well because my boss advocated for my pay and the facility is very nice to work at. Besides that, we have very few things in common. Most importantly, he is deadly allergic to animals. He almost died from visiting a friend that has a cat, and I have 2 dogs. I'm just looking for some sisterly advice on how to talk myself into not having feelings for him. Additional information is that during these 6 to 7 years, I was with my ex for 3 years. He ended up moving away and dumping me. Since then, I dated a guy for a year, but he wasn't the one for me. I've been single for almost a year, have gone on a few dates, but nothing worth pursuing. Can you ladies talk some sense into me? Thanks for any advice. Can't wait to see Iliza in Vegas next month. I know Iliza hates this, but please keep me anonymous because some people I know love you also. We do like that. We like when other people listen.
How about all of them?
Get the boss listening.
I would be interested to know, did you have a crush for the 3 years you were working with your boss while you were dating that guy? And did you have that crush for that year? Because my first thought is you need to go date other people and get your mind off of this because you seem to like the job so much.
I think what's really hard to compare and contrast here is the fact that at the old job, she didn't see him as much. At this new job where she is not dating anyone, she sees him all the time. And
you see him all the time.
He's really good. There's like old people that he's tending to. That's tough.
Yeah. I mean, if you find that attractive. Like all these like old drug addicts.
No, I assume it's rehab, like physical therapy rehab. Oh.
You need to exercise some self-control because even you're like, I know I shouldn't tell him. I would say tell him if it was a job that you didn't love.
Right.
But here we are. This is kind of a bummer because it's like women are always like, I want to be taken seriously. I want to be viewed as a professional. And here that's happening. Yeah. And you're like, but I love you. There is a version where you actually do love this man and you've been working with him for so long. I refer you, and I know Emily's going to love this one, to the movie Secretary with James Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal. There is that, but it's unclear if that's what it is versus he's a good looking guy. And I don't know if you would find him and all these traits so tempting if you just met him in the wild. The animal thing is probably a deal breaker,
100%.
Just given your lifestyles. Yeah. It would be different if you met and you fell in love and then you couldn't get the dog and you didn't have one and you're like, oh, because we've had people write in about like, I really want a dog and my love doesn't. You need to, and I also wonder, like, has he given you any indication? It sounds like the guy's keeping it pretty appropriate.
Yeah.
So you should be repelled knowing that maybe he doesn't find you as attractive.
I just think the only thing that makes this easier is the pet thing, because it's like, look, you know, in real life, you're saying you have nothing in common. He'll die if he's around any. Do you want to live a life with no animals? Like, no, like you would not work in the real world. You just wouldn't.
He's just a good looking guy that you happen to know.
That's giving you attention all day, every day.
That's right. And you know what? Like, you can live in the place where it's fun to see him and never cross the line, because it sounds like he's treating you like a professional. And I think you appreciate that. You need to get your mind off of it. You need to try to date some more. And you need to answer my question about if you had a crush on him during that real relationship, because there's your answer.
Right. But even if you do, it's just, it's not going to work out.
And if you love this person, then be prepared to tell them and lose that job. But I don't think you want to.
No.
Like, okay, he's good with elderly people. Like, cool. I don't know if my husband's good with elderly people. Like, is this a characteristic you look for, or just you happen to see it?
You're seeing it every day.
That's attractive.
And I get how that would be attractive.
Okay, but there's other things like faces and bodies and
Noah would totally be great with elderly people.
I've never seen it happen, so it's not something that like I look for. You're finding attractive, like it's a microcosm in which you are experiencing this person.
Right.
Do you know his favorite color? Do you know his favorite movies? Do you know what he's like when he's sad? Like,
he might kick old people when he's not at work and he just has to be nice at his job.
You mean this was the version where he really likes you and that's why he invited you and he just never knew what to do?
No.
It's also the version where you're like, I love you. And he's like, let's go for it, darling. And you're like, why are you calling me darling? He's like, it's what I call all my ladies. And you're like, oh no, look what I did. I got this job. I'm dating this fucking weirdo who doesn't like pets.
I'm deathly allergic. What? Ugh.
Yeah, get
He shouldn't be allowed to work there. Those old people need a therapy dog.
You always make it about pets. I'm impressed you made it about a dog, not a cat. But yeah, let us know if you loved him, if you were as obsessed with him at the beginning of dating those guys, because that's when it's the spiciest.
I've noticed that, at least since I've had my babies, that I smell differently when I sweat. Maybe I'm just like getting older. I don't know, but I smell differently. And I don't love that. If I'm on set or if I'm on stage or if I'm doing anything like functioning in public and I don't want sweat stains or to be aware of my stinky pits, that's when I turn to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant because it keeps me smelling fresh all day. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, under boobs, right ladies, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, your feet. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Well, unlike certain traditional deodorants that may try to mask odor with a fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code Iliza for 15% off your first purchase at lumideodorant.com. That's code Iliza at LUMEDEODORANT.com.
The first ever Kia K4 seamlessly combines bold style and advanced tech. With striking star map LED headlights and an available panoramic display, the Kia K4 delivers design and function. The available surround view and blind spot view monitors can help provide added confidence. Plus, Sirius XM comes standard, bringing you closer to what you love. The Kia K4 balances aesthetics and innovation. Learn more at kia.com/K4. Surround view and blind spot view monitors may not detect all objects around or behind the vehicle.
All right, we have urgent need advice before the SLC show. Sorry for waiting until the last second to send this question in, but I've been going back and forth about what to do for the Iliza show and SLC, and I need her to weigh in. I bought tickets for the show as soon as I saw that Iliza was coming back to SLC. At the time, I asked my husband if he'd be interested in going, even though he's not really an Iliza fan. But
What? Why would you tell me?
he does enjoy stand-up. And we've had fun going to local comedy nights in the past. He said, sure.
Okay,
so I
you've
got
had fun
2
at-
tickets.
At Wise Guys
At
and your
Rogan.
low ABV bar shows. Give me a break.
But in the meantime, my marriage has been unraveling and we're on the brink of divorce.
Well, you married a guy with bad taste in comedy. What do you think's going to happen?
We're both pretty unhappy and have finally acknowledged that to each other. It's more of a sad than a mad situation as there's been no abuse, no infidelity that I'm aware of, and we've been together a very long time. All of our issues predated me buying these tickets, but some really hard life things have happened this year that accelerated our downhill slide.
The issue started when I said I bought tickets to Iliza Schlesinger.
He was like,
That's
I
when we got
can't,
our divorce.
I can't do it anymore. His closest sibling died a very difficult and premature death. Love transitioning right into that. This was obviously devastating in its own right, but also has driven him into a bad mental health space that makes him super unmotivated to do anything to fix our relationship, though he's in denial about any mental health issues he may have and won't seek help. I bought the tickets for us when I was still in the phase of trying to work hard to reconnect us since he was putting in no effort. Felt like if I tried extra hard, it would somehow reverse course on the trajectory of our relationship. I've been in therapy for a while now, and I'm finally at a point where I realize no amount of hard work on my end will make up for a partner who is already checked out. So while no final decision has been made about a divorce, it's not looking good for us, and there's definitely a big elephant in the room when we're together. I legitimately don't know what to do about my extra ticket. I am definitely attending the show, but I don't know if it's a good idea to invite him to go. I am confident he has no memory of agreeing to go to the show and wouldn't care if I went without him. If I don't force the issue, he probably won't even realize I went by myself. But on the other hand, it may be an opportunity for us to escape our situation for a little while and just do something fun together that will make us laugh and forget the tension that's built between us over this undecided stay or go decision. No matter what happens with our marriage, we have to be on good terms in order to co-parent our kids. So should I just go by myself and have a relaxed, fun time free of the stress? Or should I invite him as a peace offering and hope it's more fun than awkward? Very anonymous, longtime fan from SLC.
Well, I don't know why it has to be very awkward because you don't have to do anything other than stare at me for an hour. If there's there's not Iliza fan and there's an anti-Iliza. Is he just not a fan because he's like, I don't really know her material, or is he just like, I don't like her?
Yeah.
If so, I would give him the option. I think, I just have to put this out there. you didn't really ask this. I think you are kind of hoping, and this is fair, to like salvage the marriage. My show's not going to do it. It has started relationships, and it has been the litmus test for someone should be with someone. But you want to enjoy this show. I think there's nothing wrong if you can come and enjoy it. It's not going to be awkward with saying like, hey, do you want to go? If not, totally cool. I don't think you need to use this show as a Band-Aid, quite honestly. And I don't know. I understand what you're saying about like, like leave our awkwardness and just like go enjoy something together. You're getting a divorce. You don't need to. You don't need to mend this. My show is not going to be what makes or breaks your civility toward one another. I'm saying like,
yeah.
Okay, so you do it and then you get in a fight in a parking lot and then it's, if he really doesn't want to go, then I think there's nothing wrong with bringing it up to him. Be like, I thought this could be a fun thing, but I know that you secretly think she's brilliant, but are intimidated by her. Should I bring Janet?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're offering the peace offering, hoping that you guys can like patch it up and maybe it won't be divorce, but I just don't think that that's the appropriate thing to try to make that inroad.
If he agrees to go, great. If he doesn't, great.
Great. But you also don't want agrees to go. What you were hoping he'd be like, oh my God, I'd love to go. I think this could be so much fun for us. Agrees is going to feel like you're married and you're dragging him along, and that's not what you want. And you don't want to put that much pressure on you or me for this night.
I know. Do not bring weird vibes to the SLC show.
My pants are already going to be so complex. Don't do that to me.
All right. 40-something, happily married lady for 20 plus years. Yes, I'm from the Midwest and married my college sweetie. Dumb luck, it worked out for us. I'm not sure what to do with my beautiful wedding ring / engagement diamond. It was so important to me in my 20s to have a big rock, but now in my 40s, I find it a bit silly. I love it and what it represents, but I simply do not wear it. Instead, I've opted for a simple band that I bought in the Denver airport for $40 when I realized my ring was on the window ledge at the dish sink at home. We don't have children, our choice, and wouldn't want to give it to a niece or nephew since that could get complicated. Should I just keep it in our safe forever or something else? Just not sure what I even do with it in the future. My husband doesn't care. He says it's my ring to do with what I want. My question as not a married person is, just put it in a drawer. Like, you don't have to give it to anyone. You're still alive.
Why would you give it to anyone? Can you get that stone set in a different way?
Like
I mean, I have a very, you could do a necklace. I mean, that reminds me of Carrie Bradshaw when she did it because she didn't really love Aiden. You could get it. There's not a ton of jewelry. I mean, you could put it in a beautiful bracelet and get it like welded, like those forever bracelets, a bracelet that doesn't come off. You could also get the stone reset. I have a beautiful diamond, heirloom diamond from Noah's family.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful wedding ring. But it's propped up, like it sticks out so my hair gets caught in it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe for similar reasons, I don't tend to wear my wedding ring, but it's so beautiful. I'm like, I don't want to get it reset. But there are ways to get diamonds set so that they don't feel as big or are not raised. So maybe it might be worth going to a jeweler and be like, what are some things that are done? Because there might be ideas that people do that you've just never heard of, never occurred to you. But don't feel any pressure to do anything or give it away. I mean, if you really want to do something, sell it and you got to take a vacation. But
yeah,
why would you give it away? You're not dying.
Yeah. There's nothing you need to do with it.
Yeah.
Put it somewhere. It's fine. Keep wearing your Denver airport one. You're good.
Or there's something you guys could do with the money for that from that diamond that would bring you a ton of joy. Then do that. But
yeah.
But whatever you do, tell him. Don't be like, it's a surprise. It's a hot tub for one. You can watch me.
We got another important update, not about our most recent inside pooping dog, but a pooping inside dog from last year. So we are following up.
The dog's dead.
No. We had someone write in whose parents had two kind of elderly dogs that they were having a really hard time with because they were just like peeing all over all the floors. Like it was just a nightmare. And they talked about getting new like flooring. It just is like nobody wants to go to their house because it's disgusting. So we got an update.
Red hot update.
And this could actually help recent listeners. Hi, Iliza, Emily, and the elderly pup caregiving question asker from this past week. This question sounded almost identical to mine from last year around this time, so I want to give an update about how we solved the issue. I'll spare you the stinky details about the problem and skip right to the solution. Doggy suspenders. Our 17-year-old pup Nala is still kicking, and here she is below in her new uniform. She only has one tooth left, so chewing the diapers off was never much of an issue, but she can't wiggle out of them anymore, so win is a win. And I need to explain this dog. The suspenders it's wearing are very much like fireman suspenders. They're red. They're fully red with little orange, little leather straps holding its diaper on. It's incredible. So, most recent question asker, strap that diaper on.
Get your dog some lederhosen.
It really is.
Strap it on.
An incredible look.
I guess dogs have like micro shoulders. Like I guess they have shoulders.
I think it's kind of wrapped around. I don't know, but I love it. All dogs should have to wear suspenders.
I mean, there you go. It's just another way to keep that diaper on.
Okay.
See, not unlike with the diamond jeweler. Like it never would have occurred to me to suggest suspenders. So go to a jeweler with your diamond, and they will suggest to you the diamond of the dog suspender world.
Exactly. Okay, we have an anonymous question from Patreon. Eliza, I've been with my current boyfriend, Derek, for almost 5 years. He had a childhood best friend, Mark, that committed suicide last month, and they were not currently on speaking terms. They argued over a girl/chivalry, but they've always had an on-again, off-again bromance. Mark left behind a girlfriend named Lexi. The funeral has brought on an array of emotions, and I need help. Derek, my boyfriend, had an entire life before me. He had a wife named Addison. They were married for 10 years, but together for 15 years total. He caught her cheating multiple times throughout the marriage, but didn't leave because he made a vow. Addison ended up leaving and in the worst possible way. After squirreling her money away for a year, she disappeared while he was at work. Derek came home expecting to see his dogs and her, only to find she left and took everything she wanted, conjoined gifts and all, took his dogs, left a few furniture pieces he brought into the relationship. Addison left a note stating that all Derek did was work and didn't pay attention to her. Psst, he and I don't have this issue. Worth mentioning, Steve and Amelia were their best couple friends. Think the Ricardos and the Mertzes. Do you think anyone listening to the podcast knows?
Yeah, because we all watch Nick at Night.
Oh, okay, fair. I would guess anyone who's talking, the main couple is the Ricardos, and then Steve and Amelia are the Mertzes. The four of
them. We
have
some older fans. Yeah.
They did everything together.
What?
Ricky was so cute. And then they cast what's his face in the movie, and I was like, "This is not the right kind of cute."
Bardem.
Yeah, that's not
the
Ricky
same.
was like a little boyish cutie pie.
No, hot. And shout out to Lucille Ball for being like, I'm funny and I want this like hot Latin dude. Yeah, sorry, I'm not like single and weird.
Yeah,
like people act like. I mean, she was gorgeous and funny, and was
had
just like
a whole business.
Who had Desilu Studios? She brought in her husband, who was not funny and not talented, and she made the world love him.
Yeah.
Just like Brittany and Kevin Federline.
Just like it.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve and Amelia, the Mertzes, knew Addison was leaving and helped her load the moving trucks. Derek and Addison went through the divorce proceedings, and it's been 7 years.
Okay.
Current day. With Mark's suicide, it's brought out all of Derek and Mark's old friends from when he was married. I saw all of these people at the funeral from his past and his marriage, and it was awkward for me and super overwhelming being there to support Derek, knowing that most of these people he grew up with ended up staying in touch with his ex-wife. She basically kept all the friends in the divorce. I pretty much saw everyone but her at the funeral. Mark's death has given some perspective to Derek. Derek wants to reconnect with these friends, which I totally agree with. He never should have disconnected with them because of the divorce. Now I'm nervous on how I'm supposed to be or act around these people. I am very down to earth. My boyfriend calls me a hippie sometimes in a loving way. Born and raised in California. I moved here to be with my mom, and I met Derek at work when he was married, but we didn't connect until after I left the company 3 years late and 3 years later. We were not friends. In fact, we didn't like each other. Like I said, Derek wants to hang out with these old friends again, which I'm fine with, but he made a comment that they were bougie. Should I have taken offense to his comment, as it seems he infers I'm not swanky enough? How do I hang out with these bougie people? I just found out Lexi has an MFA from Yale. Amelia graduated from Penn State in interior design. I went to California State University, Bakersfield, and I work for corporate America, contracted in a hospital in human resources and recruiting. Type of people I deal with tend to be from the neck of the woods I'm from. How do I behave around these people without letting them know where I'm from or letting them think I'm trash? And the final bomb, Marcus Hughes' brother and Amelia is still best friends with Derek's ex-wife, Addison. Based on my Instagram PI work, I don't see Addison on social media with Lexi, but now I'm hesitant to try and be friends with Lexi and Amelia since she's still locked in with Addison. Help me, please.
Why does your husband want to be friends with these people who were all in on this secret? Like, he has been made like a non-sexual cuckold.
Yeah.
Like, they fucked him.
Yeah.
They all fucked him, and then they all stayed friends in like a very like rich person weirdo. Like, maybe Addison is rich and powerful, or the dad is, or something. Like, I would actually be questioning my boyfriend. Why do you feel the need to be friends with these people who did this to you?
I get, okay. He's like, I'm back at the funeral. I've lost touch with these people. I understand that. I wonder what Derek's behavior was like at the time, because it does seem a little wild that not only did they help her, but they all cut contact with him. Like, is he the common denominator? And now he's bettering himself. And so he's like, oh, like maybe he wasn't as wronged by them as it sounds like to us.
It doesn't, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
He also like could have been a shitty husband. I mean, it's not really, it's tough to judge that, because it's like, did he hit her? Did he do something wrong? He could have just been emotionally unavailable. But for people to take like a stance on a divorce this hard, did she bring in the majority of these friends to the relationship? The bougie thing, I don't love that word, because it always feels like a word that non-bougie people use to describe people with money. So it's odd to me that he used it.
Yeah.
Now, it's usually said as sort of a quasi-insult.
Yeah.
Like, you would not describe the Queen of England as like bougie. Bougie always to me feels like maybe you didn't have money and then you got like a Louis Vuitton bag and now you're acting like you're something.
Yeah.
But I'm sad that it's instilled like even a tinge of doubt in who you are and what you do. Like, there is no, and I'm not saying you feel this way, like you have a college degree and you have a great job.
Yeah.
You know what? Part of me is like, he said that to you because he's like, his code is these people are assholes.
But he wants to reconnect.
But it brings me back to why. Does he want closure about Addison? And if you ask him this, then he'll be like, well, you're acting all crazy. I'm not loving this guy.
No.
He wants closure. He wants to know all these people ditched him. And he's in a way like you're feeling like you need to like ride or die for this person. You don't have to do anything other than be charming and go to this party. You don't have to atone for his mistakes. You don't need to know jack crap about Addison. They're divorced. This is your relationship. And quite frankly, I don't understand why this guy needs to reconnect with these people unless he feels left out and he wants back in. But it's like, why? Look what these people, look what they think of you.
Yeah. Does she still have his dogs?
We're going to gather around a dead body and like that's going to soften all of us. Like, it's been years. No one has reached out. Why do you want back in?
Yeah.
He needs to give you those answers, and you don't have to ask them in like a probing way, but like, I think it speaks more to his character.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, these people who helped my ex-wife leave me, and I'm either not telling you the full story, or I am that dense, or I'm just a good guy and we just didn't match up. Not only do they help her, then they broke ties with me for all these years, and now out of courtesy, I'm being invited to a funeral, and I want to let you know that they're bougie and might be rude to you, but I'm going to be okay with that. Like, who fucking needs this?
Yeah.
And you might want to ask him, are you the Band-Aid for his sad, broken heart?
Yeah.
Have you not any new friends since this? Do you guys not have friends together? Do you not have your own life? Like, why does he want back into this life? And why do you have to waste so much time thinking about this woman who wants nothing to do with this guy and has left this mess in her wake?
Yeah.
I don't like your boyfriend.
I don't either. Sorry.
And I think your boyfriend, I don't think there's anything wrong with a conservative guy or a preppy guy calling someone a hippie. I think he is like, well, she's not Addison. I think there's like a little bit more digging to do here. I want to see some big gestures out of him if he really loves you. Big gestures.
Yeah, and see if any of these people are welcoming to you or not, which it's like...
Who fucking cares?
Well, it just sounds horrible.
You're there to support him, but I don't know why this guy needs support doing something he shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. I am a psycho. Help.
All right, Emily.
I'm in a real pickle and could use Eliza's sage advice. If not to help, at least make me laugh so I can stop cringing at my psycho. I have this friend who is single. She's feeling really discouraged by the dating game and has asked me on multiple occasions if I know anyone. Sadly, I don't have anyone in my or my husband's close circle, at least that lives in the state we live in. But there is this guy in my neighborhood, let's call him M, who I have long suspected is single. We've never done anything more than exchange light pleasantries as we pass each other on walks. I know his name and his dog's names. I know the house he lives in, and that's about it. He knows my name, the fact that I'm married and have 2 kids, and where on the street I live, and I suspect that's about it as well. Come to my psycho move this morning when, as we were passing each other, I said, "Can I ask you a totally awkward and embarrassing question? Are you single?"
Yes, I am.
So I have this friend and she's having a hard time meeting someone. Would you be interested in meeting her? I mean, I don't know anything about you other than you seem like a nice guy.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. Maybe we'll have y'all both over sometime to get to know one another. I'll keep you posted.
Okay, have a good one.
And that was it. Actually interested or just trying to placate the crazy lady and get her to leave him alone? I'll remind you, I don't know anything about this guy apart from his name and his dog's names, which are Chianti and Garbanzo. At least it isn't Chianti and
This guy is
Fava Bean.
gay. Sorry, I get the Hannibal Lecter joke, but
Well, and she
these
said,
are not.
I think Emily will get that reference at least, but just in
I've
case
seen-
my brain goes to Silence of the Lambs a little
Silence of
bit.
the Lambs. Oh my God.
Did I just offer to set my friend up with a serial killer? What do I do now? Drop a note in his mailbox apologizing for being a psycho, but also leaving my number so he can reach out if he's interested? Have him over, get to know him a little bit before making the introduction? Pretend it never happened? Move neighborhoods? Sincerely, the crazy neighborhood girl.
Dear crazy neighborhood girl, the thing to do in the first place would have been to like have a little get together and invite him and then let them talk. You are not responsible for your friend. First of all, what I need to know is your friend attractive?
I feel like this guy must be attractive or she wouldn't have stopped him on the street. And I'm wondering if her friend isn't.
Yeah, you need to send us a picture of your friend. Let's say your friend is attractive. And we're not talking female attractive where it's like, she's beautiful. Like a pretty girl.
A hottie.
Okay? A little hottie.
Ugh,
Here's how you wash your hands of it. The next time you see him, just be like, hey, I felt so weird. That was so awkward. And please, you sold her down the river because you made her sound like the psycho. Like she can't meet anyone and she needs me. Write down her Instagram handle. Be like, here it is. She's a vet. She does this and she does this. If you're interested, great. I'm out of it. I just thought, just wash your hands of it because you don't need to get in between. He's a grown man. He knows how to talk to a woman. She doesn't even know what he looks like. You were just trying to help.
I'm very curious about what went through your, like, it must just be that this guy is hot, right? Because why else are you like, hey, I should set this guy up that I know is alive with my friend?
First of all, here's the rule. The rule is always let the guy go first. What you should have done is been like, because I've done this. I've been like, are you single? And then they're like, oh, are you finally single? I'm like, no, not me.
No, someone else. Why didn't
No,
you
they're
show
like,
him
"Are
a
you single?"
picture?
I'll show him a picture because it's easier, I just think, for the girl to be like, no, I'm not into him. And then the guy's like, whatever, like I'm a guy. I'll just die alone. That's fine. The other way around, if you show him to the girl, to your friend, she's like, oh my God, he's gorgeous. And then you show him her picture and he's like, woof. Now you're stuck being like, oh, he's just been out of town.
Yeah.
So I would say nothing to your friend.
No.
As if you did anything. And then if he's like not under, be like, I will never say anything. I had to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
If he's like, yeah, she's pretty, be like, great. Then you can kind of be like, okay, well, I'll tell her to expect a call or something, but just remove yourself from it as soon as possible. You do not need to have them all over, by the way. You don't know this guy. You don't need to know this guy.
No,
don't have them
but
all over.
She doesn't even have his number. She's like, should I leave my number in his mailbox so he can text me about meeting this girl? Like, in my mind, the only option now is to print out a picture of this girl, put it in his mailbox and be like, call me
You don't have
if
to
you
print it
want
out.
her.
Here's her Instagram. Hit her up.
Yeah. I need to see this man because I feel like he is just a
No,
hunk.
I need to see your friend. We need to see your ugly friend.
But I think a really good joke in I think it was Forever 31 where you do it. You might have done it. I don't know. Where that idea that like when people are married and you ask them to set you up, they're just kind of like, go fuck yourself. Like I already found you have that. There's that bit where the girl's like, oh, I already found someone. So like, screw you. Like I'm not setting you up with any of their friends.
So the fact that you cared at all is incredibly kind.
Yeah.
You're a little rusty because you're married.
Right.
You do not have them both over. You do not need to get involved, but we do need to tell you if either of these people are good looking.
We do need to judge them.
Yeah. So before you take another step.
All right. Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
You want to start with bottom? You want to start with fan or Emily?
A fan bottom, as always.
A fan bottom, as always. Hi, gang. Get ready to rock your demographic data because I'm not a grad student, nurse, bride, or trucker, but a simple 31-year-old bartender from Dallas.
Whoa.
I saw Iliza in New Orleans recently and loved it all, regardless of the crappy audio. Wow, why are we getting notes? My bottom.
Because on stage, I will turn on the house. Okay. Like I will very quickly be like, this audio is shit. I just think we do sound check. We pay, like, it costs money to go to these houses, and like to have bad audio is just always such a kick in the dick.
My bottom is that awful situation you find yourself in when you're in a public place. You think it's safe to let out a hot, shameful, stanky fart because you think you're alone, only for someone to immediately appear in your stank zone and make you regret everything you've ever done up until that point. It sucks for everyone involved. Why does the universe toy with us like this? Keep it fresh, Marissa. And also, I agree with Noah. Adair's makes the best burger in Dallas.
Adair's.
Oh, excuse me.
And I took him there in Deep Ellum. I don't know how many public places you're going to where there aren't people, and then all of a sudden there's just like a rush of people, a gold rush. But that is like sometimes, like I've definitely farted on a plane, and I've had to be like, oh my God, what does that smell? What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
Start blaming other people. Well, you have a dog with you usually. You can always blame that.
She's never farted. I've never smelled a Tianfu fart. Like she's just not one. She's too tiny.
There's not room in her for gas.
She was so overwhelmed this weekend, just like with constant travel and people petting her. She squirrels behind. Oh, this is so gross. We get in the room and she will squirrel behind the nightstand.
Yeah.
Or behind the bed in a hotel that's bolted to the ground, like where all the dead skin goes. And she's like, I'll just be here.
Yeah.
And then I kiss her on the body.
Oof.
What's your bottom?
My bottom is, okay, you know when you have a Ziploc bag, but it's not like a Ziploc. It's not the clear kind, but it's that technology in like a food bag. So there's that in like cat treat bags, whatever. When you go to open it and you instead peel the zipper away from the plastic and now the bag's ruined and the seal is ruined.
It's not a perfect technology, and the amount of times that dog food doesn't come with a resealable top is insane to me.
Yeah, I have a big sack of cat food that's just wrapped up and I put a bunch of duct tape on it. Like, what are we doing? Get it together.
Yeah, I
Okay.
I saw this meme one time that was like, I just wish the people who made cereal like knew the people who made Ziploc bags. But the cereal people don't want their cereal to stay fresh. They want you to buy new cereal at like $8 a box.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's what they're doing to my Cookie Crisp.
Yeah, people want their products to go bad, so you have to buy more. Milk. I'm just kidding.
Milk.
Which brings me to my bottom of the cob. It's a simple one. Whipped butter. I don't like it. Like really shiny butter that comes like on the plate with some Maldon salt and like fresh baked bread. I don't like it. I don't like the consistency. I like a thick butter. I like a Normandy butter, a chunky butter. I don't like shiny gelato whipped butter.
Whipped. I'm wondering how you feel about this. I think that it's inferior to just when they're like, just make the little like olive oil soup for your bread. Like, I want a butter and I want a roll.
It depends on the type of restaurant. Depends on what we're about to eat. Depends on the bread. Great olive oil is a perfect thing. Sometimes it needs a little bit of salt, but they go like, this is our homemade, this is our house-made whipped. I'm like, it's going to leave a film in my mouth. I don't like
All right. Top of the Cob.
I have such a good one.
Oh, okay, good. That's exciting. Top. When the dentist has a TV built in the ceiling and they just have it set to HGTV. I don't have cable, so this is my best chance to watch awkwardly staged dialogue about whether this couple wants to have custom dog doors and gates or totally renovate the woman's jewelry making studio. Then, when they zoom in on her jewelry, it's so hideous. My 3-year-old could have made better. And then their budget for a new house is $1.8 million. It's all so delicious and stupid. I love it. I only get it every 6 months at the dentist.
I love that. It's so mindless. And I love that you knew it was awkwardly staged. It's all real. They already own the house when they do the show. To burst your bubble. Your top.
My top is I've had a stink bug cohabitating with me for a week. I had a bottom recently about how they're just all coming into my house. They've mostly been in my office. This one made its way into my room and has been sleeping above my bed for a week, like 6 nights. And today, and I couldn't get it because it was like on the molding. I didn't want to knock it into my bed. That somehow felt worse. He finally flew today and went somewhere where I could catch him. And I took him outside. He's gone now after living rent-free for a week. I can go to sleep tonight without a beetle clicking above my head.
Oof, clicking. Oh,
it makes a sound and it makes a smell, and I didn't want it inside anymore.
Yeah, it's the ultimate revenge. Like, kill me. You'll regret it.
Right.
I'm stinky. My top of the Cob is I fly home on the 6 a.m. flight or whatever every time I leave. And I always sleep the entire flight, but my body naturally wakes up about an hour before we land. 45 minutes to an hour. Sometimes I'll wake up to we've begun our initial descent. And it's always just enough time for me to have a cup of coffee. And there's something just chemically rewarding about that shitty cup of coffee. Or I'll bring my own. The French truck in New Orleans sent me a bunch of individual pour over coffee singlets. It's less about the coffee and more about the satisfaction of I did the weekend. Now I'm getting that caffeine jolt right as we're landing and I'm energized to get off the plane. And it's like a victory drink that I look forward to waking up to.
I feel like there's value in having special little treats at special places. Where, it's your plain cup of coffee.
Yeah, because you can't do it when you take off because then it's cool, now I'm jacked for this flight. Now my eyes feel tired. But I sleep and then just waking up to that. It's just, even though it's not great coffee from the airline, it's just it's nice. I don't mind being awake for that hour. The rest of it, I'd like to sleep. I'd like to sleep, please. You guys, I will see you this week in New York. We got 2 shows at the Beacon. We've been waiting for these shows. We've got 2 weeks left until this taping in Salt Lake City. And we have our Ask Iliza Anything live episode that we'll be recording. Again, you won't be hearing it live, but it will be taped live.
Live to
on
tape.
October, live to tape. October 30th. And we're going to get the form out for there. First come, first serve for tickets, but we will be doing more of those. And we're looking forward to it. And please join our Patreon. It's free. We're pulling more and more questions from there. We're getting hot inside info, pictures, stories I write back. It's the Ask Iliza Anything logo
Patreon.
Is usually Emily, but there's also me. If it says Elijah Schlesinger, it's me. That is me talking to you. You can also join my community, which is totally free, and the number is in my Instagram. And that's a great way to get alerts about my shows in your cities because we have all of 2025 lined up and we will be announcing soon. And that number is
323-370-4480.
323-370-4480. I just want to say I was so tired because this weekend really took it out of me. I'm glad we did this.
We had a nice time.
Life's always better with you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, get used to it.
The first ever Kia K4 seamlessly combines bold style and advanced tech. With striking star map LED headlights and an available panoramic display, the Kia K4 delivers design and function. The available surround view and blind spot view monitors can help provide added confidence. Plus, Sirius XM comes standard, bringing you closer to what you love. The Kia K4 balances aesthetics and innovation. Learn more at kia.com/K4. Surround view and blind spot view monitors may not detect all objects around or behind the vehicle.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you pick a McDouble or a McChicken, then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money.
Price and participation may vary. For a limited time only.